Every vacation, Caleb would return to the county and talk about Creighton. His stories about the first prince were full of praise, about his burning intelligence, his nobility, and the sophistication of his conduct. It was more like worship. She'd better not make the first prince her enemy. Caleb could be a useful bridge. Aleisha studied Glenna's features. Would Glenna take the initiative to invite Caleb? What is the real motive behind this? She couldn't think of a clear reason. Could it simply be that he is Prince Creighton's colleague? It was known throughout the empire that Glenna and Creighton were very attached to each other. Creighton never looked at any other woman, and Glenna was willing to do anything to please him. Perhaps Caleb's invitation was just another way to gain the prince's favor. But if Caleb was invited alone, who knows what Patricia might do? After arranging her thoughts, Aleisha's head lowered slightly. Thanks for the suggestion. But it is unthinkable for a lord to leave his territory in a time of crisis to attend a party. Caleb understands that as well. Is that so? Glenna's eyes widened, and she slowly fluttered her eyelids. After a moment, she smiled and began to tap her fingers gently. So, what do you think about this? We'll be having a dance party next month for Creighton's birthday. It should be appropriate to invite him then, right? The rainy season will be over. Aleisha looked at her carefully. The hostility Glenna had previously shown had disappeared. And she just seemed eager to expand the guest list. Maybe she should ask Caleb more about the first prince at the party. Aleisha needed as much information about Creighton as possible. Maybe Caleb can give her some insight. It will be fine then. Then I will send an invitation to Ambrose's house. Glenna smiled contentedly, seeming happy with Aleisha's approval. She sat gracefully on the sofa and motioned for Aleisha to sit as well. Please have a seat, Mrs. Ambrose. Aleisha asked Sarah to bring the hospitality, then sat down. As Sarah left, they remained alone in the reception room. Aleisha silently watched Glenna, who in turn was looking closely at the dress that Aleisha was wearing. When she noticed that it was a dark green dress that matched the color of Aleisha's eyes, she raised an eyebrow. You have good taste. I thank you. This dress was prepared for you by Prince Franz, wasn't it? Yes. Aleisha answered briefly, did not add anything, and lowered her gaze as if to say, I am not interested in talking to you. Although her response was not rude, it left an awkward impression. Glenna looked a little confused by the sudden silence. She thought about criticizing Aleisha's behavior, but she chose to speak up again. Mrs. Ambrose. Excuse me, tea is ready. Glenna's words were cut off as Sarah returned with Isolde, bringing tea and sweets. The two ladies continued arranging the fine teaware and food on the table in silence. You can leave. Your command is obeyed, Your Highness. As soon as the preparations were finished, Glenna dismissed Sarah as if she were the owner of the palace. It was an intentional show of authority, a snub of Aleisha, who would be the mistress of the second prince's suite. But Aleisha was not affected. Wherever Glenna went, she believed she was a hero. Even if she was a guest, she acted as if she were the host. Don't the second prince's maids know how to serve tea? Glenna furrowed her brow after one sip. Aleisha, in turn, took a small sip. The scent of tea spread gently, and its rich taste filled her mouth. It's excellent. Are you just looking for an excuse to criticize? Aleisha took a silent breath, then put down her cup gently and answered politely, I apologize. I will make sure to train them more later. They must look like their mistress. I don't think the training will help. Glenna raised an eyebrow and sneered. She was preparing to get into the heart of the reason for her visit. Aleisha wished she would hurry up and leave. You're right, I still have a lot to learn. Humility is good. But in your case, it's all you have. Glenna pushed her cup away and added, Caleb and the countryside are very different, you know. And you're suddenly going to be a member of the royal family. That must be difficult. Her words carried implicit malice. Aleisha looked up and looked into Glenna's eyes. Glenna smiled charmingly and continued, I'm really worried if you'll be able to adapt to palace life. The rules of behavior here are strict. I was studying it hard. But there are limits to what you can learn on your own, right? Before Aleisha could respond, Glenna quickly announced. So I decided, I will teach you myself. I will devote my time to giving you etiquette lessons. So, that's the goal. Aleisha's eyes sparkled. Since that hidden confrontation between them in front of the Empress, Glenna must have been looking for a way to humiliate her. And this was her method. You intend to teach me the wrong etiquette just to embarrass me at the party, there's no doubt about that. Aleisha looked at her with a cold look. She already knew that Glenna looked at her as an ignorant country girl. But that was nothing compared to what she endured from Patricia. But that doesn't mean she'll let her do whatever she wants. Feigning ignorance, Aleisha replied with a calm smile, I can never occupy your Highness's precious time. Then she added, still smiling, in fact, Her Majesty the Empress has offered to appoint me as an etiquette teacher at any time. I was hesitant, but if your Highness deems me in need, I may actually ask for it. Her Majesty the Empress? Glenna's face clearly changed at the mention of the Empress. Aleisha smiled victoriously inwardly as she watched Glenna's features change. She was right, Glenna intended to drop her at the feast. I will make sure not to offend the royal family. Thank you for your concern. Glenna bit her lip and stared into her cup, anger evident in her eyes. Is there something else I should take care of? Her innocent tone made the situation worse. Glenna's eyes flashed with anger, and her jaw went into spasm. It seems that Her Majesty the Empress loves you very much. She even gave you a diamond necklace, and now she wants to appoint you as a teacher? What a talent, Mrs. Ambrose. Aleisha let the sarcasm pass. She didn't care what Glenna said. To remove Franz, she needed the first prince. But she did not need the first prince's wife. As long as it doesn't hinder her, that's enough. She looked at her coldly. She was just a noble, arrogant young woman, accustomed to getting everything she wanted. Perhaps she has never experienced the taste of despair. She envied a life like that, yes, but no more. Aleisha did not intend to shake under the weight of the court's games. Not every battle Glenna chooses will be fought. There is something more important waiting for her. She just hoped she would leave. Glenna, unaware of Aleisha's thoughts, clicked her tongue when their eyes met. Her Majesty the Empress is fair. She will not take sides. Understood. Aleisha answered coldly and turned her face. Glenna pursed her lips and muttered angrily, learn from the etiquette teacher how to address those who are superior to you. This seems to be the most urgent matter. Then she suddenly stood up. As she passed by Aleisha, she added coldly, now I understand the kind of girl you are. And I will make sure you know the kind of person I am. Just wait. Return safely, Your Highness the Princess. Aleisha bowed politely to her, as if she had not heard the threat. Glenna, boiling with rage, turned around and left furiously. Aleisha did not sit up until she was sure that Glenna's anger had completely left the place with her.